Hello students. So welcome to my YouTube channel Biology with Miss Rinky. Since you have come to a biology YouTube channel, let's understand what is biology, right? So bio, as you all know, is life and logy means study. So when you study about life, that's called as what? Biology. So we are going to study about the various chapters in biology on this YouTube channel. Now let's understand a very interesting chapter in biology which actually defines any organism to be living, be it a bacteria or an amoeba or a plant or a human. Any organism is living only and only reason to it because that organism is made up of what? Cell. All right. So I'm going to start with 11th standard NCERT textbook, which is the unit 3, which is known as cell structure and function. All right. So let's get started. Well, I'm sure you will have heard right from your lower grade, right? Right from your lower grade, that cell which is there, all right, is the basic fundamental structural and functional unit of all living organisms, right? So it gives fundamental, okay, it gives a structure to a cell, all right, because it is made up of carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, all right, and it is the one which is responsible for various functions in your body. For example, say protein synthesis, all right, production of ATP energy, all right. So that is why a cell which is there is a fundamental structural and functional unit of all living organisms. All right. Next, who was the one who discovered cell? All right. So cell which was there was actually observed first time by Robert Hooke. But let me tell you, Robert Hooke did not see a living cell. What he saw were actually the bark cells. Can you see the center diagram in red? The honeycomb-like structure, which were the bark cells, all right, they are nothing but what? They are the dead cells, all right. Now, what do you mean by dead cell? Well, I'm sure you will have heard in your lower grade that a cell which is there is comprising of what? A cell which is there, all right, comprises of what? It comprises of the nucleus and the cytoplasm. So you have the nucleus and the cytoplasm, right? Which together is known as what? Protoplasm. What is it known as? Protoplasm, right? So what he observed were actually has absence of protoplasm. He saw was what? Since it was a plant cell, and you all know the bark cells which are there, all right, and it being a plant cell, what they had, what? Cell wall. They were actually empty cells, okay, because the protoplasm, the living part of the cell, was absent since the bark cells are dead cells. So only thing what he saw was what? The cell walls, all right, which did not have what? Nucleus and cytoplasm. That is, protoplasm was absent. What he saw were the cell walls, okay. And since the whole arrangement which were there, they appeared like what? Tiny rooms, okay. What did it appear like? Tiny rooms, or you can say they appeared like what? Compartments, right? They appeared like tiny compartments or tiny rooms, fine. Since they appeared like small rooms or small compartments, all right, he named it as what? Cellula. What did he named it as? Cellula. Because you know they were like small rooms, they were small compartments, and long ago the language which was most commonly known, all right, was Latin. That's why all the words which are there in biology are derived from the Latin language. If you know the meaning of it, automatically biology becomes easier to study and remember. All right. And so he was the one, he saw the bark cells, the Koch cells, okay? And since it appeared like tiny rooms, compartments, he named it as what? Cellula. Ideally, what he had seen was what? The cell walls, okay? Next, further ahead, there was a person who had a deep hobby and interest in what? In your microscopes, all right? And he was actually looking at the microscopes and seeing real cells, okay? Real living cells. He saw the sperm cells, the bacteria cell, the embryo cell, all right? And a scientist who did observe the very first living cell, his name was Anton von Louis Van Huyck. Okay, he was the one who said that the way in chemistry you will have heard matter which is there, all right, is made up of what? Atoms and molecules. Matter is made up of atoms and molecules. Similarly, organisms or animals are made up of what? Animalcules. Okay, but between the two, obviously the easier word, all right, the easier word was what? Cell. So cell was the word which was actually accepted by everyone, okay? And that's why the unit of life which gives structure and function, all right, is called as what? Cell. All right, now very two important point to note. All right, if the question comes, who was the one who discovered cell? Answer is Robert Hooke. Who was the one who observed the living cell? Answer is what? Anton von Louis von Hooke. All right, now let's look as to what exactly these two scientists they look like. Okay, so that was Robert Hooke who discovered cell. And on the right, we have Anton von Louis von Hooke, all right, who discovered what? Described the very first living cell, all right. He saw the bacterial cells, the sperm cells, the embryo, which were the living cells. And what exactly did Robert Hooke observe? He observed the Koch cells. Koch cells are what? The bark cells, all right, which comprises of what? Only the cell walls, as the living matter, that is protoplasm, was absent inside it. He told it as what? Small compartments. That means he named it as what? Cellula, from which the word what? Cell was derived. All right. So with this, what we have done is we have discovered, all right, we have discussed about the discovery of cell, which was done by the two scientists. In the next lecture, we will begin about the various theories, okay, which is based on cell, known as the cell theory. Well, if you have liked my video, please share and subscribe. I'll see you in the next lecture, which is based on cell theory. Until then, keep studying from your Ncert textbook. Thank you.